Hey everyone, welcome back. So, if you're new here, this channel is about defending the faith, preaching Jesus without watering anything down. We go back to the sources, we go back to the apostles, and try to answer all of those hard questions. Now, if that's what you're looking for, hit subscribe because this might be the most important video we're gonna make here. This question, I'm not going to give you a bumper sticker answer because I've stood next to real suffering. I've experienced it in my life, still experiencing some of it right now. And this is the question I asked the most before I became a Christian. So recently, I've sat with some people in prison and they've lost everything. About one one bad thing they did pretty much ended up in prison. They lost everything: families, life, their freedom. I prayed with people outside on the streets who are homeless. They've lost everything. I heard a lot of stories about their sufferings, not just about what I've been through or people in the church been through. This isn't just an atheist gotcha, because this is the question that everybody asks. Your coworkers, your family, some of your friends who are unbelievers. This is the question everybody asks. If there is God, why is there so much evil? Why is there so much suffering? So let's take it seriously. Now, the argument is actually ancient. It's not in the past couple of years, it's not the past decades, it's not even the past centuries. It's from the earliest times. So the argument comes from Greek philosopher Epicurus. And he put it like this: 300 years before Christ was born. And he said, if God is willing to stop evil but not able to, he is not all powerful. If he is able to but not willing, he is not good. If he is both able and willing, then why is there evil? So that's a good question. Sounds right. But here's what I need you guys to understand and see first. There are actually two versions of this question. So one version would be the philosophy classroom version, an intellectual argument, and there is the hospital halfway version as well. A cry of pain, pretty much. Now, they need different answers, and I'm going to give you both of them. Let's go. So ask yourself, could God have created a world with zero evil in it? Sure, he could have made robots, programmed to obey, programmed to love him, programmed to never hurt each other. But to be honest, is forced love love? Take if your spouse loved you because they were incapable of anything else, it wouldn't mean anything. Love is only real if there is no if no is a possibility. So God made creatures with real freedom, and real freedom means their real possibility of evil. We choose to love, we choose to hate. Now, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, therefore choose life. And notice something, the vast majority of suffering in this world, like war, abuse, greed, cruelty, corruption, traces back to human choices. When people ask, why does God allow evil? Half the time, the honest question is, why does God allow us? He gave us freedom. We're the ones we're the ones using it wrong. Now, okay, someone says, but what about earthquakes, cancer, kids getting sick? Nobody chooses that. True. So hear what the Bible actually claims, because most critics attack a Bible they've never read. Genesis 1 talks about God makes the world and calls it very good. Genesis chapter 3, mankind rebels and the whole creation fractures with us. Now, Paul says in Romans 8 that creation itself now groans like something beautiful that's been broken. The world you see on the news is not the world God designed, and it's not the world He's going to leave behind. We live in the middle chapter of the story, not the last one. And by the way, Christianity never pretends pain isn't real. A third of Psalms are laments. There's an entire book called Job. There's a lot of suffering in it. Scripture is more brutally honest about suffering than any philosophy out there. God, this is the point. God didn't stay out of it, He entered it. Here's where Christianity stands completely alone, because every other worldview gives you a God above the suffering, detached from it, or no God at all. And the suffering is just meaningless noise. Christianity gives you something no one else dares to claim: God on a cross. Isaiah called him a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. The shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept. The God of the universe stepped into our broken world, was betrayed, falsely accused, tortured, and executed innocent. So when you ask God, do you even know what it's like? He answers, I know it from the inside. God's response to suffering was never a lecture from heaven. It was a rescue mission. He didn't exempt himself from pain. He absorbed the worst of it to defeat it. This is the second part, the hospital halfway answer. If you're suffering right now, here's what God says to you. Psalms 34, verse 18. The Lord is near the brokenhearted. Not the Lord is near to those who have it all together, near to the brokenhearted. He doesn't just sit with you in it, He redeems it. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. God works all things together for good for those who love Him. Paul says God comforts us in our troubles so that we can comfort others. 2 Corinthians. Now, here's some story from my life. I've had I still have a wife. She was ill before. She had 2 strokes. She had a heart attack. We've been doing surgeries, brain surgeries every 3 months before I brought her to America, and they actually removed the AVM, arteriovenous malformation, that she had. It was a tough 5 years. Tough 5 years. A lot of things happened, but we placed our faith in God. Right now, I have family members who are going through cancer, and one after another, and it's kind of it is a lot. But if there would be no God, before I became a Christian, I was depressed for much less things before. That right now I look at it and I was like, are you kidding me? That was the reason I was depressed? That was nothing. Right now I'm going through way much more things, and I know a lot of people who are going through similar things, and they're holding it together only because of one thing. It's God. Jesus Christ is the one who comforts, the ones who redeems, the ones who protects. There's no other God who can do that. In my personal experience, God used my worst chapter for it to become a testimony. I've watched God take the darkest seasons of a man's life and turn them into the exact reason somebody else got saved. Suffering is never wasted in God's economy. Now, here's the flip. One more thing, and nobody tells you this part. Let's say you get rid of God because of suffering, because of evil. What did you just do? You didn't solve the problem. You made it unbearable, because now suffering has no meaning. No justice is coming. Evil is just atoms bumping into atoms, and your outrage about it is just a chemical reaction. But you are outraged because you know some things are truly evil. And a real standard of evil requires a real standard of good. Your anger at injustice is secretly borrowing from God's moral law. And the question meant to destroy faith actually points straight back to Him. And listen, if you want to go deeper on this, I urge you all, everyone watching, go watch Dr. Frank Turek on this topic. He's a Christian apologist who has spent decades debating this exact question with atheists, and he answers it better than anyone alive. I'm gonna leave a link in the video below so you can watch it. And with God's final answer, because it hasn't fully happened yet. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying, nor pain, for the former things have passed away. One day, suffering doesn't get explained, it gets evicted. If you're watching this in the middle of pain, I'm not asking you to pretend it doesn't hurt. I'm telling you that you're not alone in this. It's not meaningless, and it's not the end of your story.